Hey guys, it's Roger with Village Craft and Candle. Welcome to another episode of Create. Today we're in Cobourg, Ontario at the Cobourg Harvest Fest, and we're chatting with Sara McIntyre from Stop and Smell the Candles. Join me in her amazing retail setup, talking about her story, the journey she's been on, and the amazing products that she's developed. Let's check this one out. What did I say? Check this setup out. I'm inside of this mobile trailer where it's basically converted into a retail store. You're never gonna believe this. Let's check out the genius behind this brand. Sara, Roger.
Hi,
nice to meet you. We are so excited to be here. I can't wait to show everybody what you've developed. But first, before we do anything, can you explain where we're at right now and why you have this setup?
Yeah, definitely. So I like to travel from the east to west coast of Canada, which is what my candles are kind of based on. So I thought the best thing to do was get a camper that I can convert into a store while I'm traveling, but also can camp in when I'm not selling, and that is this.
Oh, that's awesome. So as you're traveling, you're also getting some inspiration while you're in this thing, and you're going to different cities, and we're standing in front of an amazing concept that I've never seen before. And this is basically smell your way through Canada, West Coast to East Coast. So can you give us a bit of an explanation around your inspiration around your brand and why you've created basically such a specific type of product experience and how that makes such a significant difference to you and your story?
Yes, well, so I'm a camper.
Okay.
So my first scent before I even started the Canada collection was Algonquin Campfire.
Oh, right on.
My mom and I grew up camping. It was something that brought me back to my youth and growing up. And it's something that I felt a lot of Canadians could resonate with. So from this, I kind of started picking up scents from all the different places I visited and realized when I started selling them as candles that other people resonated with them too. For example, Quebec maple sugar. Everyone loves the Canadian maple. And then all the way from the East Coast, Ocean Air, to the West Coast, we've got BC Mountain Rain and Whistler Pine, and then tied it all together with the camper.
That's awesome. Do you feel that like someone who may be from BC would resonate more with the BC fragrance, but then also want to try something from different parts of the country? Because it's just like a Canadian patriotic type of way of saying I can have a candle from every part of the area, which is the country that I'm from.
Yes.
Maybe a family member, or even great gifting ideas as well.
Yeah.
Leads me to the next point. So as you develop this brand and as you're kind of curating products, one thing I always ask is, what's your inspiration? I mean, you say you're a camper, which is awesome, but how do you develop a brand and how do you continue to build products from that? And what inspires you to kind of keep going and expanding the product offering that we see over here?
So I like to travel across Canada, and I try to do East Coast one year, West Coast the other, and stay in Ontario in between.
Right.
So my brand really, it's surrounded by who I am.
Right.
And I find that people do resonate with all of the different provinces and scents, and it just kind of flows naturally.
Yeah, no, awesome. And I love the way you have a story. Like, people can really resonate with your story of being a traveler, a camper. So you need to kind of walk everybody through. Talk about this amazing setup. This is insane. I love this thing. It is just, it speaks for itself in terms of its uniqueness. It supports your story. Walk me through kind of what made you decide to do this. Is this part of your brand from the beginning? Is this something that you're going to continue building on? Is this kind of who you are as a setup?
So from the beginning, I started out very grassroots. I didn't really have a concept in mind. I was actually making soaps and actually changed my business name from Sara Soaps and Candles to Stop and Smell the Candles a few years ago because candles got so popular that I didn't have time or space to make soap anymore. And it's just been an ongoing build. I feel like nothing's ever static.
Right.
You always have to kind of build and roll with what's going on in your life and your brand's life. So the camper wasn't always part of it. I bought it maybe 2 years ago, and it just kind of fit.
That's awesome. Kind of shifting gears here. So, I look at camper, I see kind of the whole concept of traveling across Canada. Walk us through like the other products that you have over here, which to me at first glance is not really necessarily a camping type of vibe.
Yes.
So what inspired you to kind of develop something like this? And again, going back to it, as a small business, what's that risk tolerance that you give yourself to kind of get into something that may not necessarily attach it to the original story?
So for other product lines, I've got a few. I have mainly seasonal and everyday scents. I find with seasonal, everyone loves an autumn candle. It's autumn, everyone's out here.
Yeah.
You need something that'll bring somebody through the season. So I've got autumn scents, like all the pumpkins, all the apples, peaches, marshmallow, like all the scents that kind of make you feel warm and cozy.
Right.
And I feel like that is needed apart from the Canada collection to bring you different places at different times. Similarly, like I've got my holiday collection with all the gingerbread and Christmas tree and peppermint, which you need at that time of year as well.
Absolutely.
Because not everyone's going to want a Canada candle all year round.
Yeah.
So I do find the different product lines help with the
That's awesome.
business.
A little bit more of a outside of the kind of the brand story, but as a business owner, how do you manage, your time? I presume you're making your own products.
Yep.
You're marketing your products. You've got probably 30 different hats that you're wearing. How do you, if you can explain to some other business owners that are in the same position you're in, what do you suggest in terms of prioritizing your time? Where do you focus your efforts? You may want to have we're at the Cobourg Harvest Fest here, but maybe you want to sell on your website. Maybe you want to be at other markets. How do you split that time? Where do you know where you should focus? And then what kind of advice can you give someone who may be starting out that may be considering this as well?
Yes, so how I split my time is for markets, I choose ones that I feel resonate with me.
Right.
That will give me the opportunity to meet the right people and also to network with other business owners at the same time. Speaking of that, like with my website and marketing, when I was starting out, I actually used professionals to do all of that. It wasn't something that I could just jump in and do everything on my own. And I got them to kind of teach me the things that I needed to know to keep those things going, like marketing and website. I used a professional photographer when I first started, so I had that baseline of what I needed to grow from there. And then it gave me the time when I finally had all that set up to kind of fine tune it.
Well, that's an interesting thing you say. You did it kind of in reverse, where you started your business and spent the money on the expertise and then kind of gravitated towards, I built a skill set from there, rather than saying, let me grind it out, try to learn the skill set, and then hire when I feel my business is big enough. So you've taken kind of a very untraditional method, which is very unique, but also sounds like it's played out pretty well for you because you've learned very quickly, you invested the money that you needed to, so that you can kind of scale your business to the next level on your own and take it to that expansion mode, which is fantastic. How do you find seasonality for your business? On downtimes, are you in R&D mode? Are you sourcing out new product? Are you marketing? Are you developing content for what would be busy season? Or are you just guns a-blazing, you're kind of diversifying where you're selling and you're just managing all that at the same pace?
So it's kind of evolved throughout the years that I've been in business. It'll be my 10th year in business next year.
Wow, congrats.
So at the beginning, I was kind of all guns blazing. I was constantly making, constantly pouring, constantly making products, new products. It was very overwhelming at first, and I've learned throughout the years to pick and choose what I wanted to focus on, which scents sell best at what time of year. And with the different avenues that I sell, like wholesale, direct, online, and in person, you kind of get a sense of what's going to sell best at different times and different markets. And I try to focus on those items.
That's great. And I think I like that because, again, it sounds like you kind of have a grasp on how your business needs to operate. And I think what's important about it is you've taken this multi-sales channel approach, which is essentially wholesale, retail, on your website, etc. And you've kind of created this hedge for yourself. And is that a piece of advice that you can give someone that's starting out in terms of maybe not put all your eggs in one basket and maybe try a few different things if you can manage it financially and from a time perspective? Is that something you would suggest, or would you recommend starting off with something you can handle by yourself, such as, let's say, a farmer's market, and then eventually expand into other channels?
So my biggest piece of advice to people starting out is do everything you can. Like,
Okay.
don't say no to a market just because you think you can't handle it. You don't know what you're gonna feel like until you're in that position. And that's kind of the way I started. I just
Right.
went for things that I thought I might not be able to do.
Right. No, that's great.
And just saw what I could and what I couldn't.
So something like this, you've kind of developed your setup right now. What would be technically the next steps that you would look for as your next phase of business growth?
Oh, that's a good question. Right now, I'm actually right-sizing my business. I felt like during the pandemic, there were a lot of markets. Afterwards, there were a lot. And now I'm kind of paring down. Paring down and kind of figuring out what works best for me.
Interesting. I like that because we all get kind of caught up in this gazelle moment of business growth, and we're all excited about, I'm having sales in wholesale. I'm also having sales in direct through my website, and then potentially some, spot retail events like pop-up shops such as this. But the fact that you're right-sizing it means that you're putting concentration on the areas that you'll have good use of your time, good use of your money, and you'll be able to build the products that are required for such a channel that you can at least grow with, which is great. So kudos to you for that, because I think all of us, in the small business kind of ownership world, is that we get so caught up in the excitement of growth that we dilute the importance of, I got to stay in my lane and be focused so that I don't overcommit to something, right? And then the business kind of takes a downfall from that, which is awesome. So I've got a question for you. I always ask all my makers this. What's your first product you develop? What's your favorite product you have? And if you can give us a bit of a sneak peek in the lab as to what's coming out in the next product, if you can do that for us.
Yes, definitely. So, okay, my first and favorite product are one and the same.
Okay.
And it's the Algonquin Campfire. It's over here.
Yep, got it, yeah.
So this is the scent that I grew up knowing.
Yep.
I used to go camping with my mom all the time. So having a scent that brought us back to that memory, it was just an easy first scent to make and then kind of build from. And then that is our most popular as well,
Okay.
I think, because it resonates with so many people.
Yep.
And then
What's in the lab? Give
What's
us a
in the
sneak
lab?
peek. What are you developing? Is it a
So-
room spray? Is it a bath bomb? Is it another candle?
so I did just launch incense this year.
Okay, cool.
And wax melts, but I'm expanding on the Canada collection this year. This year I made Manitoba Meadows, and now everyone's asking about Saskatchewan.
Oh, I love it.
I've been getting a lot of feedback at markets as to what scent reminds people of Saskatchewan, and I'll be working on that one for a hopeful launch in spring of 2026.
That's great. I like that. And lastly, our series is called the Create Series. Entrepreneurs have different definitions for what create means to them, whether it's a personal story, a professional one. What does create mean to you, and how do you live by that definition on a daily basis?
So what does create mean to me? I feel like we're always creating, and if we're not, then life's boring.
Yeah,
So.
no, you're absolutely right. And I find that's very common for makers, is because it's that we live in a world of creativity. We're constantly thinking of new products. And then at the end of the day, your ability to create products, excuse me, allows you to create the life you want to live, and kind of dive into this and connect with your customers, connect with your creativity on products, and allow it to kind of be displayed and have passion for it, right?
Yeah.
Which is amazing. That's awesome. Well, listen, we wish you the best of luck. We think you have an amazing brand. We love the entire setup here. This is absolutely incredible. Love the story, love where you're going with this. And couldn't thank you anymore for actually having us out here on a beautiful day here in Cobourg. And really, truly, we wish you nothing but success on your future endeavors for your business.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Guys, we're gonna drop all of Sarah's links down so you have an access to where to buy her products. Connect with her. If you have any questions, you connect with her story by all means. This is an incredible company going in an incredible direction. Can't wait to lock in on the next episode. Join us when we connect with you next. Thanks, guys.